and her distribution was just as clean as it has been all season. The difference was no one was really making a run down the middle. And Dagradas was on the other side of the 18-yard box and did a good job of controlling it, making sure that Ohio didn't put the chance to waste. It was a good attempt from Dagradas to get it around the keeper, just couldn't quite curl it back into the net.
Breeden carries and plays long. Molesky there for Ohio. The senior settles, gets it poked away. And that'll be a throw for Ohio.
Olivia Molesky, give her a lot of credit. She made a run straight through a triangle of 3 defenders. She tracked that ball immediately, knew exactly where to put herself, and did a good job of controlling, bringing the ball forward for the Bobcats.
It was Catherine Creedon, the defender for SIU, that forced the throw instead of the corner. Santa Catarina in the middle. Dierig sends one outside. Cross in by Noor. And she was off. Dagradas was off. Just over 7 minutes in, no score between Ohio and SIU.
Ohio's been able to control this one early in possession. They've done a good job passing it around, making sure to always find the open pass. And what's impressed me so far about Ohio is the way that they're kind of staring down their defenders before they pass the ball. They kind of look one way, and if there's too much coverage over there, they go the other way. Ohio has done that very well.
Good crowd here on hand for Ohio at Chesa Field. Molesky heads one forward.
Small pocket of maroon shirts here as well in support of the brand new SIU team.
SIU, again, their first ever season. They had one heck of a crowd in their first game at home. There was 2,000 people there to see them play the first women's soccer game in SIU history.
And they're pretty unique in terms of having an inaugural season. We talked to Aaron Rodgers. He said they really haven't played a team in their first year before this. And the reason why, I went and looked it up, only 17 teams with a Division I football team don't have a Division I soccer team, or women's soccer team, I should say. There are plenty that don't have men's soccer teams, Ohio included in that. But in terms of women's soccer, 17 out of 351. That's a pretty good number for the sport, I would say.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. The sport just constantly growing. And now we get a sloppy turnover by the Bobcats. Brechtel tries to play Myring too far. Malum corrals. Tells everyone to take a deep breath.
I think what happened there was Victoria Breeden just got overly cautious and didn't realize that there was no one to back her up. There was a ball played for her a little bit forward, and she decided, instead of going for it, to stay back a little bit. And what that allowed SIU to do was step in and play a little 2-on-2 before Ohio's defense was able to recover.
Sensky lost that ball for Ohio. Rodriguez now plays outside. Morauskis to the feet of Rodriguez. Taken away. Battle forward in the midfield. Benyon comes away with it. Spotak can't chase it down for SIU. Goal kick, Ohio.
Goal kick, Ohio.
A little over 10 minutes into the first half. Just under 35 to play in the opening 45 minutes. No score between Ohio and SIU. The Bobcats have definitely dominated the possession, but SIU, a couple of counterattack chances.
Yeah, definitely. When SIU gets the ball, they have known what to do with it in terms of playing the ball forward, as it looks like they're going to have another chance here.
Rodriguez chips one in. Malum scoops on a bounce and quickly throws. Dagardas to Dierig. Dierig wanted it. Molesky, intended for Townsend, poked away by Creedon. And now that ball takes a weird spin out, Ohio throw.
And that's just kind of an unforced error, but it was kind of forced by Olivia Molesky. She put herself in the right place and pushed a header toward an SIU defender, and all of a sudden, when it looked like Southern Illinois was ready to clear, they just lose it again and give it Ohio's way. And that's something that Olivia Molesky has done very well this season, just inhabiting the right space in the midfield to always give Ohio the best chance of either keeping the ball or getting the ball back.
Kalika to the feet of Dagardas. Dagardas beats Benyon down the near side. Townsend plays Molesky. Molesky in the 18, now just outside. And Paige Knorr gets it taken away by Rodriguez. Warrior now for SIU, a counterattack opportunity. Myring. Kalika in defense, takes it away. Good work from the sophomore. She's been so impressive this season for Ohio. Has started every game, played 73 of the 90 minutes at Marshall. Dierig now. Darrow. And she just couldn't quite get a shot off. Goal kick.
Goal kick, Solutions.
Ohio tried to come forward with sort of a counterattack of their own after snuffing out an SIU counter. And you said it, but I want to emphasize it. Morgan Kalika, what great work in defense down the left side. She has been immense all season long, stepping in to a starting role in just her second season with this Ohio team, and she looks like she's been there for 4 years.
Was Townsend onside? No, she wasn't.
Offside to call.
Just offside. 13 and a half minutes into the game. No score between Ohio and SIU.
Yeah, Townsend just barely playing the wrong shoulder side of SIU. That's one of those calls that could go either way. Looked like she was right on that back line and stepped out when the ball was played, but the assistant referee saw it a different way.
Townsend a far touch. Rodriguez poked it away, but Darrow gets it back to Dierig. Now Townsend far side. Townsend touches to her left. Left-footed cross blocked and out for a corner.
It's a corner kick for the Cats. Abby Townsend to the angle for the corner.
A nice job by Sam DeJulio over there to defend Abby Townsend. But the sophomore forces a corner, and she'll take it herself.
And for Abby Townsend, that's something she's been able to do well all season, is take on defenders 1v1 and be able to get something out of it, whether that's a goal or a corner or whatever Abby Townsend can manufacture.
Townsend's cross. Back post. Headed save. Rebound. Save.
Malakay with the save.
Mahalake comes up huge for SIU. We're still scoreless.
Well, it was Santa Catarina that had a clear header, and she was trying to get power behind it. She couldn't quite get the right direction to steer it around Mahalake, and it was just sort of a reflex save for the Concord, California native in goal, who has been terrific all season long. And then the rebound from Courtney Dagardas. Well, Dagardas just put whatever she could on it because the ball was bouncing around and there were about 80 legs in the area. Dagardas was lucky to get anything on it, And she was just trying to push it toward the goal. Mahalake put herself in the right position and made the double save. That's some of the more impressive goalkeeping that we'll see this season.
The freshman's been good in goal for SIU. Just 3 goals allowed, 31 saves. Ohio earns a free kick. Sensky to take it. Outswinging ball. Creedon heads away. Kalika to Sensky. Sensky chips one in. Just over the head of Molesky, and Mahalika corrals.
Malaki with the grab.
Keep her in the box back there.
Good punt. Sensky gets a head on it. SIU's Clark heads forward.
Keep it up, keep it up.
And now Sensky can't control it. It's out for an SIU corner. 28 minutes to play first half. No score.
Oh, that was a weird play for Sensky. I think the ball just rotated in a way that she didn't expect it to. And she was dealing with some pressure from a forward attacker for SIU. But normally that's pressure that Sensky can cope with.
Benyon takes the corner. Headed toward goal and wide.
Warrior the attempt. Goes across the touchline. Goal kick.
Warrior
Ohio.
with the header wide. And Malum to take the goal kick for Ohio. Malum's right foot gets us back in her way. Creedon settles for SIU, but Zagardas gets a foot on it, and Townsend comes the other way. Townsend cuts right. Cross. Blocked. Townsend gets it back. Left-footed shot deflected, and Deary gets a head wide.
Deary's header.
Goal
Wide
kick, but we
post
see
from
Ohio
touchline.
continue to pressure and pressure and pressure.
It sounds like Ohio's fans are frustrated a little bit that Abby Townsend wasn't coming up shooting there. Townsend was kind of 1-on-2 on the right side of the 18-yard box and had herself a good opportunity. She made a good cross that was dealt with well by, it looked like Catherine Creedon, who got a foot to it. And then when Townsend got the ball back, she hesitated a little bit before finally deciding to shoot.
Molesky in the 18. Crosses, and Mahalake is there to scoop.
I'm not sure if Aaron Rodgers is necessarily yelling the same things as the Ohio fans, but certainly it sounded like the Chesafield faithful wanted to see Abby Townsend shoot that ball a little bit earlier.
That ball's out for an SIU throw. We talked to Aaron Rodgers this week about Abby Townsend. She leads the team with 4 assists, and Rodgers just could not make it clear enough. Her overall understanding of the game, he said, has improved immensely from year 1 to year 2. Here she is again on the far side. Townsend plays back. Cross in. Deary heads forward, no one there. Goal kick. But he said it's almost like a quarterback who can throw and run because of her ability to create space. And she really, anytime she wants to, has the option to shoot or play one of her teammates. Last year, it was 4 goals, 4 assists for Townsend. This season, it looks like she's tried to dish to her teammates a little more with the 4 assists.
And when Rodgers made that analogy, she's like a quarterback who can run and pass. I said, okay, so she's Nathan Rourke. And he said, no, she's better.
Abby Townsend, so talented. Here she is just outside the 18. Plays Darrow. 24 minutes to go, first half, no score. Darrow sends one in. Rodriguez gets ahead on it for SIU. Townsend regathers. Now Deering back for Santa Catarina. SIU comes away. Stone gets a foot on it. Salukis control. Ohio 5 shots on goal compared to SIU's just 1. Breeden to the feet of Knorr. Knorr carries. Looks for Olivia Molesky, taken away by Stone.
Molesky was nearly able to just impose herself and take the ball back despite being a few yards away from where the ball was taken. Molesky got there quickly and then put a strong foot in for a challenge. Just got beaten. She didn't quite have the right angle. But that's the sort of thing that Molesky has done all year in terms of her physicality.
Townsend. Right-footed rocket save. Mahalake gathers. That was just straight speed from Abby Townsend.
Yeah, Townsend with, you said it, a rocket, an absolute bullet toward the back of the net. Mahalake just in the right spot. There was a little bit of curl on it from Townsend, but I think it curled toward Mahalake rather than away from her. Townsend, though, with, showcasing that talent that I think she was brought to Ohio for in terms of her finishing ability, and then what she's gained since being here, that understanding for the game, that passing option.
22 minutes to play first half. Still scoreless here at Chesapeake. Gabe Genovese here with you alongside Noah Wolf on Ohio Bobcat TV. Thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Bobcats 4-0, off to the best start in program history. SIU, well, they don't have a program history quite yet. This is their first season. They're 3-2-1 in their first 6 games. Breeden there for Ohio. Stone couldn't get there for SIU. Dagradas plays Molesky. Molesky stays with it. Cross in. Knocked away and headed away by Lewis. Dagradas wins the ball, and they're going to call her for a foul.
Well, mostly the referees have just been letting the girls play today. And we've seen a lot of physicality from both teams going both ways that just hasn't been called. A lot of bodies on the floor. But that one apparently, Dagradas just got a little bit too much of the SIU defender. The referee had seen enough, evidently.
Rodriguez for SIU. 5'5" senior midfielder, one of 2 seniors on this SIU squad, leads the team with 2 assists. Had the lone assist in the 1-1 tie on Friday for SIU, did Rodriguez. Mahalake plays long. Kalika there for Ohio, but SIU wins it right back. Brechtel has it taken away. Dagradas for the Bobcats. To Santa Catarina. Ohio in a little bit of trouble. Now it's Molesky. The senior, 2 goals, 2 assists early in this season. Plays Townsend. Townsend's cross. Just off the foot of Darrow. Goal kick SIU, and that was the best opportunity Ohio has had all day.
Absolutely. Abby Townsend, I'm not sure how she got to that ball in the first place. She just absolutely burned past Ellie Lewis, went right around Lewis and just continued with her speed. Even once she had the ball, she used that pace down the right side and put in a laser of a cross, and it was just a little bit too quick for Darrow to be able to control it and put it in the right spot.
Couple of substitutions for both teams. Caitlin Akers in the game, 5'8", freshman forward/midfielder for SIU. She has played in all 6 games, only 2 shot attempts. Devin Butler also in the game, 5'3", freshman forward/midfielder. She only has 1 shot attempt in her 6 games. For the Bobcats, Maddie Young, freshman forward from Cincinnati, already a goal this season. She's talented up front. And Heather McGuire, freshman defender out of Hamilton, Ohio, in the game. SIU earns a free kick. Catherine Creedon to take it. Creedon toward the top of the 18, headed away. Just over 18 minutes to play first half. Still no score. Sensky carries, sends one off the foot of Brechtel for an Ohio throw. Molesky. And they're going to call a foul on, I believe, Peyton Schneider. It was.
Just didn't quite make sense to call a foul there. Molesky was a little bit unhappy because she still had the ball. She had the advantage. The advantage was not taken away.
Nord takes Butler out from behind. Not quite from behind, but Butler definitely had possession and earns a free kick just across midfield for SIU.
The referee blew his whistle a little bit longer on that one than his previous foul calls. And that doesn't mean anything in and of itself. It just kind of looked like he was thinking about going to the pocket, pulling out a card.
Line drive sent in. Warrior got a foot on it, but straight to Heather McGuire for Ohio. McGuire's pass taken away. DeJulio down the far side. Sends one in. Weak cross. Malum there for Ohio.
And even if Malum hadn't been there, it was 3 Ohio defenders surrounding 1 attacker for SIU. It was Madison Myring, who is in the center of the box. But she would have found trouble if she was trying to find space, getting around all 3 of those Ohio defenders.
Myring gets it taken away by Kolika. Now Dagerdas for the Bobcats. Dagerdas carries forward to the feet of McGuire. Back to Santa Catarina. Sensky plays one to Townsend. Townsend looks for Young. Young won it. Now Molesky. The senior's right-footed shot poked over the bar by Mahalake. Corner kick, Ohio.
Well, Molesky found herself in plenty of space toward the middle of the field. Sure, she was outside the 18-yard box, but that's nothing for Molesky. She has that sort of range and that sort of precision, as Mahalake had to be at full extension to tip that one over. Great attempt from Molesky. A great idea. And now Ohio packing the goal line to try to create a chance off this corner.
4 Bobcats on the goal line. Townsend sends one in just over the head of Molesky and headed wide and out for a goal kick. They're going to say Maddie Young headed that out. SIU kick. 3 substitutions for Ohio. Lindsey Townsend in the ball game, along with Taylor Dickerson and Olivia Page. For SIU, Caitlin Stone comes in the game, along with Marissa Basie.
along with Kaylin Stone. For the Bobcats, Olivia Page into the game. Joining her, Taylor Dickerson and Lindsay Townsend.
Malum plays near side for Colica. Now Dickerson gets her first touch. 5'5" sophomore defender for the Bobcats. She'll push forward. Dickerson touches too far. Ohio wins it back, though. Olivia Page, her first action. To the feet of Colica. Colica steps around Creedon. Plays the freshman Young. Young, left-footed on the ground, one hop straight to Mahalake. Wasn't sure if that was a cross or a shot attempt. Had some pace behind it, but an easy save.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Looked like it might have been able to trickle into the far post had no Ohio Bobcat gotten a foot on that one, but she certainly left it sort of across the face of goal in case any Ohio attacker did want to touch that one toward the net. A great ball from Young, but also, you mentioned it could have been a shot attempt. And had Mahalake decided to be in a different position, might have been trouble.
Townsend Megs Morawskis, but can't get there. Does earn a throw. Just under 13 to play, first half. Ohio 9 shots on goal, SIU just 1, but we're still scoreless. Knorr stepped up for Ohio and couldn't win the ball, and now SIU on a counter. Ohio wins it back. Good step from Benyon for SIU, but touches too far, and the Bobcats regain possession. Victoria Bridin, the senior leader on that back line for Ohio. She talked about how she learned so much from last year's seniors on the back line. Now Young to Page. Page in the box. Straight to Mahalake.
Mahalake with the collection.
Well, the Bobcats just looked a little bit frantic there in trying to settle the ball down. There were a lot of balls played with high pace, and it just looked difficult for the Bobcats to be able to control it. First it was McGuire who had to take a long touch around the defender. I think she would have liked to go straight at goal when she got the ball. Instead, she had to go wide to the right side. Then she was able to find Page in the box, but again, just a little bit too much on it.
Page was just offside. Not a bad ball from Maddie Young. Again, it's been all Ohio in the attacking half of the field. SIU with a few counter-attacking opportunities, but we're still scoreless, just over 11 minutes to play first half. Mahalake takes the goal kick, native of Concord, California. Akers for SIU. A nifty move around Colica, but then gets it taken away. Page plays long for Townsend. Townsend couldn't get there. Nice touch from Mahalake.
Well, Mahalake is listed as a freshman on this SIU roster.
She sure doesn't play like it.
No, it's clear that she has a lot of experience in goal, because a lot of young goalkeepers would just try to boot that one as far away as possible.
Townsend's cross, gathered by Mahalake. There was no one there for Ohio, but that's still a heck of a job to hang on to that ball.
Absolutely. I mean, she continues to play incredibly, and it shows itself on the numbers too. A 9-12 save percentage is pretty much elite in terms of collegiate goalkeeping, and it's only gotten better today with her handful of saves, and there's another one.
Young plays one in. She dives and gathers that one. As a junior at College Park High School, she had a save percentage of 96.4%.
Wow.
I mean, she's just an athlete as well. She played basketball, set the school record for rebounds in her freshman year.
But it's not just her athleticism. It's her decision-making skills. It's her experience. It's her poise. And obviously her leadership, too, in getting the back line to organize exactly the way she wants.
9 minutes to go, first half. Still scoreless. Basie gets knocked down for SIU. Ohio ahead. Ohio throw near side. It'll be Allie Miller and Tristan Whalen in the game for Ohio. Miller, 5'10", senior defender, making her third appearance of the year. She didn't play in 2016, played in just one game in 2017, 2 games last year. Miller already making her third appearance this season. And Tristan Whalen, 5'6" freshman midfielder in the game as well. Dickerson crosses, deflected out. Believe it'll be a throw, not a corner. Dickerson throws. Now crosses. Headed away. SIU clears, but to no one. Miller looks for Page. Instead, it's Akers who steps in and takes the ball away. Young took it away from Akers. Looks for Whalen. Pass gets deflected. Whalen would have been in.
Keep it up.
7:20 to play first half. Dickerson touches too far. Akers for SIU. Sends one straight to Miller for Ohio. Breeden for Whalen. Whalen couldn't keep control. And now it's an Ohio throw near side.
Well, for as frequently early on as SIU is able to counter, they just haven't been able to find the forward passes in this later part.
Young in for Ohio. Crosses. Couldn't quite gather it, and Whalen's shot is in the back of the net. Tristan Whalen's first goal of her career. 1-0 Cats.
It all started with Maddie Young. Wide open down the right side, in past the back line, and that allowed Mahalake, or it forced Mahalake to have to come up and deal with that. And Maddie Young completely unselfishly dished across to the left side of the goal, and it looked like it was going to be just a perfect opportunity there, but a little bit of lack of control from Ohio made it so that Mahalake was able to recover and put herself back in the right position, but she was still on the back foot when Tristan Whalen got the ball back. And Whalen wasted no time in firing a rocket toward the left side of the goal to put Ohio up by 1.
6 minutes to play first half. Breeden's ball taken away. Basie couldn't get there for SIU. Sensky for Ohio. Good touchdown there from McGuire. Near the 18, Page. Crosses, wide of everybody. It got deflected.
Inlet is over.
And that's a goal kick for SIU.
To the goal kick.
Good opportunity there. Olivia Page made a nice run down the left side. And a great cross, too, getting it over Mahalake. If Ohio had a couple more runners down that far post, that would have been absolutely perfect. Mahalake just couldn't get there. But neither could Taylor Dickerson trying to run it down and keep it in.
Townsend to the feet of Whalen. Whalen threw ball for Young, and she was offside.
Offside, you call.
5 minutes to go, first half. Ohio 1, SIU nothing. The Cats have dominated. 10 shots on goal. SIU with just 1. Mahalake, left-footed boot. Creedon chest down. Basie battles with Townsend, and Lindsey Townsend wins it away. Page to Young. Young, shot deflected. Whalen gets there. Whalen back to Young. Right-footed shot blocked. McGuire there, couldn't control. It's Young on the outside for Ohio. Young to the feet of Kalika. Townsend now. Townsend tripped up, earns the free kick. That's a nice little touch from Lindsey Townsend. Used her body as well to earn the free kick.
Yeah, and it's a kick in a dangerous position, too. Olivia Sensky has stepped up to take it. She can really curl the ball well, and Ohio's been able to play behind SIU's back line all day in open play. We'll see if that continues here with a chance to set something up.
Sensky, the sophomore, to take it. 5 shots in her career. She's put 4 on goal. Just over 3 minutes to play first half. Sensky, shot. One hopper to Mahalake.
Sensky.
Good idea for Sensky. A lot of action happening at the top of the 18-yard box between about 4 or 5 Ohio attackers. So Sensky thinks, well, maybe Mahalake is more focused on that than she is on me. I might try and surprise with a shot, but Mahalake was not surprised, was in the exact position to deal with it.
2.5 to play in the opening 45 minutes. Breeden looks for Whalen. Freshman couldn't get there, the lone goal scorer today. Dickerson couldn't win it in the air. Townsend controls for Ohio. Now it's Basie. To the feet of Benyon for SIU.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Sensky sends one to Young.
That was an impressive takeaway by Olivia Sensky. She was running backwards to try to put herself in the right position. She was still able to stop herself and control the ball and then make the right pass forward. That's tough to do, tough to stay balanced and in control there, but Sensky was poised and incredibly effective.
She's part of that young back line for Ohio that's just stepped up and made plays early in this season.
The difference for Sensky, though, is that she started every game last year.
Yes.
So she has that experience. She's a sophomore on the roster, but she has more experience in game action than some of the seniors on Ohio's roster. Just by virtue of starting and playing all 20 games last year. She was solid last year, but still learning. And now she's kind of adapting from sometimes playing in that wingback role to being a constant center back.
Kalika plays long down the far side. Young gets there. And Benyon slides, pokes it out of bounds. Ohio corner, 45 seconds to play first half, up 1-0. It'll be Lindsey Townsend who hustles to pick up this ball and take the corner. This will be one of the last plays of the half.
I guess the requirement to take a corner kick for Ohio is that the last name has to be Townsend. Normally it's Abby.
Lindsey Townsend to take the corner.
Lindsey Townsend takes it near the 6, deflected past everyone. Can Whalen keep it in? No. Goal kick SIU.
Ball does roll across the touchline.
10 seconds to play, first half.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Lou Horvath
6,
counts us down.
5, 4.
And I don't even think
3,
Mahalake will kick
2,
it. She won't.
1. 0.
Ohio dominates the
First
opening
half ends,
45
Ohio 1,
minutes.
Southern Illinois
Ohio
0.
1, SIU 0. We head to halftime. We'll take a short break. We'll be back for the second half of play on Ohio Bobcat TV.
Hey, be sure to visit an Athens Classic. Larry's Doghouse has been locally owned since 1972.
Start of the second half here in Athens, Ohio. Bobcats 1, Southern Illinois nothing. As we head into the second 45 minutes of play, both teams return to the field. Let's give you some of the halftime stats. The big number, which Noah Wolf to my left is highlighted, drawn an arrow to, and circled. Ohio 68% of the possession.
And really, the numbers there, it's a little bit surprising that it's that low, honestly. With the way that the first half went,
touch to open the second half.
Ohio
To the Bobcats.
looked like they had possession 75% of the time almost.
Ohio moves right to left in the second half. Whalen touches back, and we're underway. Second 45 minutes of play. Ohio up 1-0. Ohio outshot SIU 11-1 in the first half. Shots on target 9-1. Dickerson down the far side. Crosses. McGuire's there and hits the crossbar. McGuire had the assist in the first half. She found herself in a good spot on the far post and just poked it over the bar.
Yeah, I think if McGuire plays that one any lower, it definitely finds the back of the net. She just couldn't quite control it and keep it down, which is a tough thing to do when you're running that fast, trying to play a ball with that much pace on it. And I think the spin just caught her off guard. But credit to McGuire for putting such a strong chance on goal. She just had to knock it down a little bit.
Whalen for Ohio. She's got options. Page. Plays back to Townsend. The New Albany native gets it taken away. SIU throw far side. Again, shots on target 9-1 in favor of Ohio in that first half. Mahalake is a fantastic freshman keeper for SIU. She made 8 saves in the opening 45 minutes, but it was all Bobcats. Battle for it on the far side. Ohio wins. Page plays near side for Paige Noor. Young, the freshman. Back to Sensky. Bad ball from Sensky. Creedon there to head for SIU. 2 minutes into the second half. Ohio leads 1-0. Spotak for SIU, taken away by Young. Lindsay Townsend. Back for Allie Miller. Dickerson touches outside. Breeden, the senior leader on the defense, switches fields. Sensky plays long. McGuire, the freshman there, and she was offside.
Offside, you call.
McGuire completely disagrees, but that's the call, and that's the 5th time Ohio's been offside today.
That just speaks to how much Ohio really is pressing that back line, always trying to be in the right position against the SIU defenders. And sometimes it just sneaks up on you that you're just barely in the wrong place.
Sensky wins it away from Spotak. Young couldn't quite get there for Ohio. Sam DeJulio there to make the play for SIU. 3.5 minutes into the second half. 1-0 Ohio. McGuire to the feet of Townsend. Townsend gets it poked away. Spotak couldn't control. Ohio throw. I mean, the Cats just look like they're playing with more energy as well. Aaron Rodgers talked about it, about last weekend's games, and how Cleveland State Friday really kind of got him out of their game. He was proud of the way his team battled, not only, of course, with the game-winning goal, but just kind of sticking with it throughout that entire nearly 110 minutes. Whalen wins it away. Crosses. Page shot. Weak and right to Mahalake.
And it's just been sort of a trend in Ohio soccer, not just this year, but the past 3-4 years, that Ohio seems to be a second-half team, and they almost always have been. It's not just statistically, but also sort of the eye test. Ohio comes out after halftime in nearly all the games they play looking like the more energetic team. And somehow Ohio just seems to be not exactly exempt from that late game exhaustion, but less vulnerable to it than their opponents have been on a fairly consistent basis.
And Rogers talked about how, so after the 110 minutes on Friday against Cleveland State, they had to travel to Marshall Sunday, last Sunday. Asensky makes a run down the near side, and it's cleared by Spotak. But they go to Marshall Sunday, and Marshall, of course, is at home. Ohio just played a double overtime game. They had a busy day Saturday, left early Sunday morning, and the Bobcats just looked like the more energized team as Young sends one just over the bar and out for a goal kick. He said they looked more energetic, and they stayed consistent with the style they like to play, and they get a 4-1 victory Sunday against Marshall. And that's what we've seen today. We mentioned it in the pregame, but this is SIU's first time having to go on the road and play on Friday and Sunday. And it's just, Rogers saying it's just, it might not be one of those things you think is a big deal, but it really can wear you down, and that's what we're seeing today. Young controls near midfield. Olivia Page sends one for McGuire. McGuire inside the 18, shot and scores. Have a day, Heather McGuire. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2-0 Ohio.
And McGuire stayed composed as she ran all the way past the back line for SIU. That's just the pace that McGuire brings to the table. She got all the way past and then was able to make her way toward the middle of the box. And when you're running to the right as a goalkeeper, you expect that the shot is going to go that direction. Instead, McGuire turned it around, had Mahalake on the back foot. Really impressive stuff from the freshman McGuire, who is one of a few young players for Ohio that looks more experienced than their class rank or their class standing would make it seem.
Heather McGuire has played in every game for Ohio.
And the other thing about McGuire today, she's playing much more of a forward role than she's been called upon in the past.
Page gets ahead on it, nowhere near goal. But, yeah, you said it. We've seen her defensively for the Bobcats, and she's very good defensively. In high school at Fairfield High School, first-team all-conference, 2-time all-league player as well. She was a captain as a senior. Knows how to step up and make plays, and that's what we've seen today.
But in this game, she hasn't played in the back line hardly at all. Maybe right when she came in, but since then, she's been playing as an attacking midfielder, kind of a winger on the left side. And that's why she was in position to make the assist late in the first half. And it's why she was able to run past the back line and get herself the goal here in the second.
2-0 Ohio, just under 37 minutes to play. And they're going to call Young for a foul on the far side. SIU earns a free kick. It was good hustle from Ellie Lewis. Ohio continues to dominate, 13 shots on goal compared to just 1 for SIU. Morauskas plays back for her keeper, Mahalake. Warrior chest down. And now Ohio gets a free kick. Victoria Breeden, the one who got knocked down. It was Warrior who knocked her down, and Breeden is shaken up. And we're going to have a stoppage in play for Victoria Breeden. You would hope it's obviously nothing serious, just a collision that she kind of has to walk off. We'll get a substitution. And Colica was gonna, or looked like she was about to come in the game, but Breeden's saying, nope, I'm fine.
Where's Jody Shelley when we need him? There you go.
Rodriguez takes it away from Young. And now a good touch around Breeden by Madison Myring. Myring tried to hit Warrior. And now we are going to get a card. Warrior gets a card. She kind of collided with Olivia Page. That was less than the first one.
Yeah, for this Southern Illinois team, that's been an issue for them all season. Their discipline. That's now the 7th yellow card issued to an SIU player in the team's 7th game. Their opponents have had just 1 yellow card. Ohio and their opponents through the previous 4 games had 0 cards of any sort.
Dickerson to the feet of Whalen. Whalen in the 18, crosses McGuire. It's in the back of the net. Mahalake got fingertips on it, but couldn't keep it out. Ohio 3, SIU nothing.
Heather McGuire again, her 2nd goal of the day. She's got an assist as well. She has looked incredibly composed as an attacking player, and I think that's the biggest story. She's been called upon in the back line for the first 4 games, now gets some freedom to explore, to create up top, and she's looked just as good in the front of the team as she did in the back line in the first 4 games.
Heather McGuire with the goal.
Heather McGuire, the freshman,
Whalen, the assist.
listed as a defender, native of Hamilton, Ohio. And she's been involved in all 3 goals today for Ohio. Has 2 of them, assisted on the first one, as Miller pokes that one away out of bounds, SIU corner.
And obviously this is a skill set that Aaron Rodgers knew about, because he's been playing McGuire toward the front of the team for this entire second half, as well as the later part of the first half. But McGuire looked great in defense. So Rodgers said, well, what can you do offensively too, right? And it's turned out well for Ohio today.
In-swinging ball, chested away by Olivia Page. SIU still controls. Looks like that was going to be a shot deflected. Breeden clears for Ohio. Young works on the far side. Just over 33 minutes to play in the game. 3-0 Ohio. That's going to be a Bobcat throw on the far side. I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe the lineup we see for the rest of this game. Abby Townsend's on the bench, Olivia Molesky on the bench for Ohio. Sydney Leckie not playing today.
Sort of a precautionary measure.
Right.
To keep Leckie on the bench.
Absolutely infraction.
I think if this game were down to the wire, then they might have thought about bringing Lecky in. But,
Oh, 100%.
But since Ohio with a 3-goal lead with still 30 minutes to play, I don't think there's any question as to whether or not Lecky's going to play today. She can just rest that knee that had been giving her a little bit of trouble.
Ball in the middle of the 18. Young got a head on it, but it's deflected, and Mahalake gathers.
Mahalake.
Long punt. Brechtel there for SIU. Salukis trying to counter. Sensky clears. Just under 32 minutes to play in the ball game. Ohio up 3-0.
Kalen Stone into the game.
Great. Grant Williams makes a substitution. First-year head coach for the Salukis and first year in program history. He's spent the last 6 seasons as an assistant at Evansville. Braden knocked down again. She wanted a call. Throw in the box. Rodriguez can't control. And now she drags down. I believe that was Page it was. Olivia Page gets knocked down and earns a free kick.
I think this Southern Illinois team just getting a little bit more desperate to find the back of the net. They're stepping up their physicality, but not in a manner that the referee really approves of. We've certainly seen a more physical battle in this second half than we did in the first, and I think some of that comes from the desperation for SIU.
Good touch from Knorr around Spotak. Page flicks on, no one there.
I don't think that's exactly where Page was trying to play the ball. I think she saw Tristan Whalen running down the left side and wanted to flick it that direction. But Page ultimately didn't get very much of the foot on the ball. And so lucky to flick it forward at all, let alone in any direction that she was trying to.
McGuire knocked down, stays with it, advantage played. Whalen now for Ohio. To Page, Page, all the time in the world, pokes it in.
We have a goal. Bobcat goal.
Olivia Page, the first goal of her career. 4-0 Cats.
Olivia Page with the score.
And the freshmen have shined today.
And Jacobs got
A goal and an assist for Tristan Whalen, 2 goals and an assist for Heather McGuire. And now Olivia Page gets in on the action with a goal of her own. Her first goal as an Ohio Bobcat. And Page has been playing forward in the space quite a bit. It was really only a matter of time before Page got involved in a successful Ohio goal. And she was in so much space in the middle of the 18-yard box. She took an extra touch that she didn't necessarily need to take, brought Mahalake out a little bit, but stayed composed and put it in the back of the net.
Miller heads away for Ohio. Page, chest down. What a performance from the Bobcats this afternoon. Still 29 minutes to play. And now SIU earns a kick. Constantina Janou, excuse me, knocks down Liz Brechtel. And this is the most dangerous position SIU has been in all day. Benyon to take it. Ohio builds a wall. Benyon, the 5'8" freshman. has a goal this season. Chips one in far posts over everyone. Goal kick.
I think Benyon was looking for a little bit more curl on that one. It just kind of sent straight over everybody. Had it curled toward the goal a little bit more, it would have been trouble for Malum and potentially danger for one of the other SIU attackers to maybe get a head or a chest on that ball, but instead it just kind of floated well above everybody. It didn't have really any curl to it at all.
Malum's right foot gets us back underway. Rodriguez heads forward for SIU. Allie Miller outside for the Bobcats. I mean, we know this Ohio team is dangerous up front and in the midfield. But it's a matter of who has scored, who has made the plays today for Ohio. Good job by Sensky to poke it away. Rodriguez plays in for Spotak, but too far. Malum lets it go out.
No, absolutely. We've seen, the usual suspects have been the main goal scorers this season for Ohio. Abby Townsend, Olivia Molesky, Serena Dierig has a goal as well. But today, it's been all the freshmen getting involved. Olivia Page with a goal, her first. Tristan Whalen with a goal and an assist, both of those her first. And for Heather McGuire, 2 goals and an assist, and she had 0 of each before today. So this has got to give Aaron Rodgers a lot of confidence in the depth that he has. Of course he knows he's got Abby Townsend and Olivia Molesky up top. But now activating players like McGuire and Whalen and Page, who have come into games later for Ohio, been sort of that extra depth. Well, they've been the main players today. And I'm sure that gives Rodgers a lot of confidence in the full squad that he has.
Townsend plays one outside. Janu there. Sends one in toward net, and Maddie Young finishes. Maddie Young, her second goal this season. 5 goals for Ohio, all by freshmen.
And that one came out of almost nothing. It was kind of an unimposing cross toward the right side of the 18-yard box. And Maddie Young, I don't know how she got that much power behind it, but that was an absolute rocket off the right foot of Maddie Young. And somehow Mahalake was able to get a hand on it, just not quite strong enough to keep it out of the back of the net. But my goodness, Maddie Young, just out of almost nothing, gets so much power behind the ball. I just don't know how she did it. What did you see, Gabe?
I mean, it was a good, strong ball in from Whalen, who made a nice play. Excuse me, it was Janu who sent that ball in. And you said it, what a finish. 25 minutes to play in the game. A 1-0 game at halftime has become 5-0. And now the score reflects the statistics in this game.
Yeah, it was 68% possession at halftime for Ohio. I think that's probably closer to 75 here in the second half. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me in terms of how much possession Ohio has had, but they've looked even more dominant in the second half. And obviously that proves itself with the 4 goals that they've scored after halftime. But I think that it also proves itself in the possession and sort of the eye test.
Whalen sends one up to Young. Young looks for Page running, but it's intercepted by Morauskas. Aaron Rodgers happy with Maddie Young over there on the far sideline. Loves the pressure that his forwards are still showing. Clark settles. Plays back to Spotak. Page Nord to Townsend. Townsend switches fields to Calica. Maddie Young near midfield. Back to Allie Miller. 23 minutes, 15 seconds to go in this one. Ohio 5, SIU 0. Ohio has played well in all facets of the game. Again, coming into this one, Ohio 2-0 here at home, 2-0 on the road. 4-0, the best start in program history. And they're just under 23 minutes away from 5-0. Whalen had Young, but plays too far, and Mahalake gathers.
Yeah, just a little bit too much pace behind that one, and it wasn't quite the right direction for Maddie Young either. It looked like Young had more space to the right than she did down the middle, but Whalen just didn't quite direct it into the right spot.
Whalen there for Ohio, but SIU wins possession back. Good step by Townsend. Finds Sensky. Back for the keeper, Mallon. Near side, Paige Knorr. Knorr steps around Stone, sends one in just over the bar. Goal kick, SIU. 21 and a half to play, 5-0 Bobcats.
Kaylin Akers into the game for Saluki.
Kaylin Akers into the game for SIU. Jenny Santa Catarina.
For Ohio, Olivia Molesky.
And Olivia
Jenny
Molesky
Santa Catarina.
returns to the game for Ohio. $16 shots on goal for the Cats. 1 for SIU. It came in the first half.
And Olivia Page.
Papanastos couldn't keep it in. Stone for SIU. To the feet of Warrior. Warrior carries. Deflects one off of Knorr. SIU throw. Ohio will be back at home against Robert Morris on Friday. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff. SIU has to travel to Western Kentucky.
And after that Robert Morris game for Ohio, they go into their 2 most difficult games of the season. First at Ohio State next Sunday, and then the Friday afterwards at Georgetown, who is a College Cup semifinalist last season. Georgetown still in the top 25 according to the National College Soccer Coaches Association. That'll be
2 difficult tasks.
Yeah, two very difficult games. And then it doesn't, I mean, it gets easier in terms of the opposition a little bit, but it's still tough. You go on the road for your first 2 MAC games directly after that at Northern Illinois and at Western Michigan.
4 straight road games for Ohio. Again, this Ohio team can play. It'll be interesting to see how they fare in that Ohio State game, just a little under an hour and a half away in Columbus.
That's a week from today. Of course, we know that Aaron Rodgers and the team are obviously right now focused on Southern Illinois. And then immediately after this, we'll laser focus on defeating Robert Morris at home on Friday. But it's a little bit further forward than the back of Aaron Rodgers' mind. You've got to think that they've got to go to Ohio State and then go to Georgetown.
And those two teams, Ohio State and Ohio, they play every spring.
Right.
But they've never played in a regular season match, or at least haven't under Aaron Rodgers. SIU free kick just in front of midfield. 18 minutes, 10 seconds to play. Molesky heads it in the air. Good step by Sensky to take it away from Akers. Maddie Young on the end of this one for Ohio. She was offside. Crowd didn't like it.
Outside call.
Young trying to time that run down the near side. And if you're Grant Williams' squad, this is one of those years you kind of just have to take these on the chin. You learn from it, you improve from it. Again, SIU will not compete in the Missouri Valley Conference this season. So this is their first year in school history. But they're an independent this year.
Right.
They will compete in the MVC in 2020.
Which is a pretty tough conference.
Yes. Warrior takes it away, plays Akers. Ball into the box. Nowhere back to Malum, and Malum clears. Yeah, it'll be a tough conference to step into. And every program at the beginning is going to go through some growing pains.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's 19 freshmen. Whalen couldn't get there. Neither could Janu. Good work by the keeper, Mahalake. Keeps us at 5-0.
And it's impossible to step into your first season as a program and just have everything figured out immediately. You said it. There's going to be growing pains. There are things that you just, don't realize. And Grant Williams, obviously it's his first season here at Southern Illinois, but it's his first season as a head coach at all. He's been an assistant. He's got plenty of experience in the game. But to start a program from scratch is a very tough thing to do. And luckily for Grant Williams, he's been in the position for about a year and a half before playing any actual games. Gets a chance to come in to recruit, to set up the odds and ends of the program before having to worry about the tactical X's and O's right away. But when you're hired as a soccer coach, tactical X's and O's are sometimes the easiest part of your job.
Right. Grant Williams has been around the game long enough that he knows what type of style he wants to play. It's just a matter of getting the athletes and the girls to play it. Abby Townsend back in the game. Battles for this one, and it's a corner.
It's a corner kick for the Cats. Abby Townsend to the angle.
Townsend to take it. Just under 15 minutes to play. They'll go short. Papanastos got it deflected. Gets it back. Sends one in. Cleared for now at least. Warrior chest down and plays outside.
Great curling ball there by Papanastos. Just didn't have quite enough white shirts gunning for that one. And SIU's defense was able to deal with it.
Creedon battles with Colica. And Colica wins it away. Good battle from the sophomore. Creedon there as well, the junior for SIU. And now Colica chips ahead to Deering. 14 minutes to go. Ohio up 5-0. Molesky gets it taken away. Akers in the box. Shot. Malum catches.
Go Bobcats!
Just the second save Malum has had to make.
The attempt.
Excuse me.
Taken in by
And it's still 5-0. Santa Catarina pokes one outside. Molesky to the feet of Knorr. Aaron Rodgers brought quite a few of his starters back in. Santa Catarina, Dierig, Townsend, Molesky, Kalika all on to finish it out.
Yeah, you can't expect some of these people to stay on for 60, 70 minutes in a row, as some of them have been on the field.
Townsend's cross deflected out. Ohio corner, 13 minutes to go.
Or at least they would have been on the field that long had Rodgers not brought the starters back onto the field.
Don't play it short.
Townsend to the angle for the
But
corner.
we saw some very impressive play from a lot of different people today. A lot of people who we normally don't see that involved.
Townsend's cross, outswinging ball. Molesky gets ahead on it, deflected. Molesky shot off the bar.
Molesky's attempt off the top of the post. Over the touchline.
It kind of just came right back to her. She didn't really expect it and gave it a boot.
Yeah, Molesky was able to get quite a bit more on that one than you'd think she'd be able to when the ball just kind of rebounds back that way. But Molesky nearly located it perfectly into the upper 90. Just maybe a foot the wrong direction.
Here she is with the ball on her feet again. Chips one up top. Townsend was off.
Offside the call.
Just under 12 minutes to go. Taking the kick is the new keeper, Matty Aloof. Another freshman keeper from Newport Beach, California. Ohio earns a free kick.
That's the interesting thing about this Southern Illinois team. They've got a lot of local products, a lot of people from Illinois, a couple from Michigan, a couple from Indiana, but all four of their goalkeepers are from California.
Papanastos. Miscommunication with Townsend. Townsend still gets there. Crosses. Molesky pokes one save, and it's in the back of the net.
Bobcat goal. Constantina Janu.
Constantina Janu. 6-0.
Jacob found something to throw in. It's from his own closet.
That's just sort of a case where you batter the ball at the goal long enough and something's going to find its way in. With the way that Townsend sent that cross in, it was just begging for a response. And Ohio able to get it done.
Reese Dorsey will now come in and make her collegiate debut in net for the Bobcats. Freshman keeper, native of Howard, Ohio. Played at Danville High School for 4 years. She also played basketball and football for Danville. She was the kicker on the football team. Jenna Kralik into the game as well, making her collegiate debut. 10 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Bobcats up 6-0. And Dorsey gathers. The bench happy for the freshman. Allie Miller for Ohio carries, gets knocked down, and there's the call.
Southern Illinois infraction.
Quick kick from Ohio. Miller to the feet of Dierig. Dierig plays back for Kalika.
Well, Santa Catarina came into this game 5-10 minutes ago. She's been playing as a center back the whole time. Just right in the back four. Santa Catarina, normally sort of a defensive mid, sometimes getting involved with Ohio's scoring, but you rarely see her play this far back, but that's exactly what she's done. In fact, I've watched her a couple times. She's thought about coming forward, and then she said, oh, wait, no, I'm a center back. I gotta play in defense now.
Santa Catarina had an assist against Marshall last Sunday. Normally part of that Ohio midfield. Akers gets the ball taken away by Molesky. Molesky to Deering. Deering looks for Townsend and missed her. 8:40 to play. Deering got the first touch on that in the air, but SIU wins it. Credit to the Salukis, they're still battling.
I think SIU would love basically a consolation goal in this one.
Well, they get it here. Brechtel, shot, saved by Dorsey.
Big grab by Dorsey.
And the Ohio bench loves it. Down and to her left, makes her first save of her collegiate career.
Kaylin Stone on the attempt.
Yeah, she looked very poised in doing so, got to the ground quickly and controlled it too. A lot of young keepers will parry that one away, especially when diving to the right or diving to the left like she did there.
Deering in the box, right-footed rocket save and clear.
Dering's attempt. Turned away by Alulu.
7:25 to play. Ohio throw up 6-0. Ball into the box.
Ball's cleared over the touchline. The corner kick for the Cats.
Constantina Janu over on that far right touchline was able to control the ball in the air. She tapped it up to herself and then spun around and put a beautiful ball into the box. That's a very experienced play for the Greek.
5'7" junior. Ball headed wide. Janua transferred. 2 years at Ohio Valley University, she became the all-time career goals leader.
In 2 years.
In 2 years. Had 24 points as well, had 60 points.
Julio coming back into the game.
Last year in 2018, 17 goals, 6 assists. Ohio Valley went to the NCAA Division III tourney. In 2017, she was the Great Midwest Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Second team All-Midwest region as well. Townsend, ball on the ground. Kicked away by Lewis and out for a corner.
Lewis on the defensive player, but it's over the touchline. And a corner kick for the Cats.
Papanastos to take it. Right-footed cross. In the 6. Punched away by the keeper Aloof. Santa Catarina there, gets it taken away. Ball cleared. Miller plays back for Colica. Colica plays all the way back to the keeper. Ohio controlling possession. Miller boots up to Townsend. Not a good touch from the sophomore, but out for an Ohio throw.
Yeah, tough one to control for Abby Townsend. She tried to play that one as light as she could and keep it with her. I think it just bounced off the shin guard the wrong way.
Townsend outside with 4.5 to play. Crosses on the ground. Gets it right back. And this time the cross is scooped up by Alaluf. Kalika plays on a bounce. Miscommunication there between a couple of defenders for SIU. Lewis and Butler. Townsend, shot over the bar.
Brooks just wanted the post. Townsend on the attempt.
Goal kick SIU, 3 minutes, 55 seconds to play.
Yeah, and for Southern Illinois, they've definitely transitioned out of that back three, playing more of a back five. Although, depending on what the role for Marissa Basie is, you could consider it a back four with a particularly far back defensive mid. But nonetheless, SIU has stepped up their defensive efforts. And even so, Ohio still able to get chances and, well, score 6 goals today.
Dierig wins it away. Townsend now far side for Ohio. Has the ball trickle off her foot, but Lewis, all she can do is touch it out of bounds. Townsend. Good touch. Crosses. Headed in.
Bobcat goal.
Paige Papanastos. Her second goal of her Ohio career.
Townsend with the attempt.
7-0 Ohio.
And we have a water bottle. This one's empty. Being tossed out, Jacob, it's a prize.
Paige Papanastos set herself up perfectly in the box to get her head to that one, and she didn't try to do too much with it. She knew that there was a lot of pace on the cross from Townsend, and she just lowered her head a little bit and poked it past the keeper, Alaluf. That's all she had to do.
Wow, what a day for Ohio. 1-0 at halftime despite dominating, and then 6 goals in just under 45 minutes for the Bobcats. 2 minutes to play in this one.
Two minutes.
Allie Miller will take the kick for Ohio after the offside. Kralik plays Papanastos, now to Townsend. Townsend sends one forward. No one there for Ohio.
Alaluf up with the collection.
1:20 to go. The best start in program history for Ohio continues today. A minute to go in the ballgame.
1 minute remaining.
Reese Dorsey gets another touch in net for the Bobcats. Freshman made the first save of her collegiate career this afternoon. Akers works on Santa Catarina. Plays back for Clark. Ball sent in. Miller, chest down, clears. 25 seconds to go. "21 shots on goal today for the Bobcats. 3 for SIU. 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Clark sends one in.
5, 4,
Just over everyone. Dorsey collects,
0.
and that's the match.
Put this one in the book for the Bobcats. The
5
final
games, 5 wins for Ohio. 7-0 your final.
Undefeated on the season.
Ohio remains undefeated. The Salukis fall to 3-3-1. What a performance it was from the Bobcats today, Noah Wolf.
Absolutely, and it was from Bobcats that sometimes aren't involved in the action at all. And sometimes, well, a lot of the people that performed today, it was their first goal or their first assist. Like Olivia Page, her first goal. Tristan Whalen, her first goal, her first assist. Constantina Janu gets her first assist as well as a goal. And Heather McGuire, 2 goals and an assist. It was really very few of the usual suspects for Ohio that got the job done today in the most lopsided victory for the Cats this year, a 7-0 defeat of Southern Illinois. It was great defense. It was great offense. I mean, really nothing went wrong for Ohio today.
7-0 the final. You mentioned all the goals, all the assists. Ohio improves to 5-0. They'll take on Robert Morris on Friday. I mean, just an absolutely fantastic performance all around for the Bobcats. The defense stepped up as well. SIU with just 3 shots on goal. They never had really a real opportunity. They had 1 or 2 close chances or close opportunities, but they couldn't take advantage. Again, a game that was just 1-0 at halftime becomes a 7-0 final. Ohio gets a victory and improves to 5-0. Any last thoughts, my friend?
Ohio continues to be a second-half team. They looked strong in the first half. They looked dominant. They had that 68% possession in the first half, but they're just a completely different team in the second half. And they started with a lot of their bench players in the second half and still were able to go on what I might call a rampage in that second 45 minutes and take down SIU in extremely convincing fashion.
I like that word, a rampage. A rampage from Ohio, as the Bobcats will come over and thank their fans for attending today. Crowd gives them a nice hand. 7-0 the final. Bobcats improve to 5-0. Robert Morse comes to town on Friday for Ohio. Then the Bobcats go to Ohio State next Sunday to take on the Buckeyes. The best start in program history continues. Check Ohio Soccer's Twitter page after the game. We're going to have interviews with a player or two and head coach Aaron Rodgers. 7-0 the final. The Bobcats improve to 5-0. And Ohio continues their best start in program history. Thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Thanks to Zach Roberts for getting us all set up today. Thanks for Connor Mills, Luke Steiner for running cameras today. Thanks to you, my friend Noah Wolf, for hopping on the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. Bobcats victorious, 7-0. So long from Athens.